Yeah, it is cinema, but don't be embarrassing. Animation is cinema, a phrase that has been used as a rallying cry for fans to show that their medium deserves as much respect as live action film and television does. Unfortunately, soon after the phrase was really brought into the mainstream by Guillermo del Toro, it quickly just became a way for people to hype up family and kids movies from the big US animation studios. Every post you see, every video you see, you're just gonna see something like animation is cinema, and then there's stuff like the Mario movie and the Owl House and Puss in Boots. No shade at Puss in Boots because that movie was great, but you kinda see what I'm getting at, right? Notice how these are all like, I gotta say it, family stuff, kid stuff even. To be clear, the problem is not in the phrase. The problem is that it's supposed to mean animation is a medium that should be given the same respect as others like live action, which is true. But what it's morphed into is validate me for only watching kids shows and movies. Let's clear something right now. It's okay to like kid stuff, alright? You shouldn't have to be ashamed of it or whatever. You like what you like. I, as a 17-year-old, still read kids books because I just enjoy them. I read older skewing stuff, but I don't know, I just like reading kids' books. It's just comforting for some reason. And I know that what I'm reading is for a younger audience, but I just enjoy it regardless. But I wouldn't posture a good majority of it as anything more than what it is. I'm able to just enjoy it, but I don't feel the need to prop it up as some bastion of literature. And to be fair, children's literature hasn't gotten the same disrespect animation has gotten in places like the US. But the point is still there. And just as a side note, yes, kids and family stuff can tackle heavy subjects with gravitas, and many have. But a lot don't do it better than the stuff that has more freedom to, like more adult stuff. They're often constrained by having to take younger audiences in mind and often can't have the explicitness a lot of these subjects deserve. They can have a purpose for distilling these in a way that's easier to understand by younger audiences, but these themes still need more edge. This can also vary by country. It's worth noting this applies to live action as well, and the difference between stuff for kids, families, and adults. But you don't really see people hyping up Nick sitcoms like people do kids animation. Obviously, the surrounding circumstances are different, but when you flip the roles, it does show where the flaws lie. Using only mainstream US family films does not help the case at all, because this is the kind of stuff you'll see. This kind of animation is cinema Twitter car movie list that a buddy of mine put together. Like, yeah, some of these are good movies and shows, great even, but is it really helping anything to prop these up at the showcases for why animation is just as worthwhile as live action? Imagine if the roles were flipped. Would you really pop up like Friends or Fast and Furious as the best of live action? No. Of all the things, I'd say only like Puss in Boots, The Last Witch, and Across the Spider-Verse even came close to being a contender for pushing cinema. Ironically, Guillermo del Toro's movie, the guy who basically coined this phrase as it's used now when he was hyping up Pinocchio, it's practically ignored when this subject is brought up. Also, the panic attack tweet set us back 50 years. And it's funny because the same people saying this were the same people that vehemently defend stuff like the Mario movie because it's a kid's movie or it's just fun, turn your brain off. Just because a movie is fun doesn't mean it has to not have a good plot or script. References do not make a good movie, but that's enough shade for the Mario movie. And then after, sort of around the same time as all this kind of discourse, they moved on to Coyote vs. Acme and making Zaslav the boogeyman of cartoons. I despise that motherfucker as much as the next guy, but damn. Why are we still talking about getting Coyote vs. Acme released? Let it go! I think part of this may come from the fact that there isn't much US animation that really targets teens and young adults. That's a demographic stuff like anime swooped in and locked down, so people either go to kids or adult stuff to latch onto, and people latch on to some kid stuff with a bit of depth, or not, and hype it up as cinema. You know it's actually cinema? Stuff like Scavenger's Reign, Terralotta Dotted Line, I Lost My Body, Bubble Bath, Fritz the Cat, Last Car, Fantastic Planet, Primal, Fired on Mars. And if you want family stuff, well, basically anything Cartoon Saloons produce, Robot Dreams, Ghibli, Rango, Tintin, Ernest and Celestine, Secret of Nim, Fantastic Mr. Fox. There is some good stuff that just gets ignored. I honestly think it would do people good to watch more live action and watch more adult animation that isn't just Family Guy and its ilk, but more relevant to the topic at hand. There needs to be more acknowledgement of more, how can I put this? Substantial movies and shows, especially outside the US. If more people watched international animation, we'd be in nirvana. Animation in cinema has been morphed into nothing more than a punchline. But there is a lot of animated stuff in general that stands toe to toe with live action, and it's a shame those aren't looked at more. Anyway, that's my take on things. Watch Kylie.